Okay, Peter, we
Yeah.
have returned to the airways.
How long has it been?
Too long because you had to go hunting. Should we rehash that?
We can. I think it's been 2.5 years.
2.5 years since our last podcast episode.
Yeah.
And we are back. We won't go over old shit, as people say. We'll let bygones be bygones.
Yeah.
The good news is we're back. We're back without Sarah, however, our old co-host.
Sad.
She's probably going to be a little bit mad.
Yeah. We haven't even told her about it.
We haven't told her. I don't want to be the one to tell her.
It's like we're cheating on her.
Yeah.
We have a substitute.
Yeah, and we're going to have like other women in here, like Gianna and Courtney and Alicia and others, Julia and Jake, and who knows who else. Maybe some of our current clients, maybe some special guests down the road. But, before we get to all that and talk about our plans for this show, it's probably good to have a name.
Mm-hmm.
It's just taken us a long time to come up with a name. We've failed many times. And who knows, maybe we failed this time, but we're going to go with this for now.
What if I have an idea? What if before we get to that, how did we get here? Like, why are we sitting in these seats?
Well,
like
mainly because our business the company we worked for shut down and we didn't have a choice but to go start a business.
Yeah.
I mean, mainly.
Stuart failed us.
Yeah. Luckily in our case, you had already started this business, so that worked out well.
Yeah.
For everybody involved.
And then we snuck the podcast back in.
Yeah, we're sneaking the podcast back in as part of our, just another thing that we decided to do on top of the million things that we already do as part of this business. Why don't you talk a little bit about the business? I think that's probably a good place to go.
Yeah.
What is the business? Why did you start it? And then how's this podcast?
An offshoot of that.
Yeah,
it's essentially a part of the business.
Correct. Yeah. So what is the business?
The business is helping people, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea is to help people with their physical function for the most part. So it started with personal training, and then when I left what we were doing together, then we added physical therapy, especially once you came on, we started building that program up a bit more. We also do health coaching, but those are services. So we offer services as a broader way of helping people with their overall physical function and health and well-being, right? And so much of what we do is psychological. And so we're often helping people from a mental health perspective. We're not counselors, but that's a part of it. It's not just mechanistic in nature. Pain is not just because I have an injury. It's for many, many reasons. And so getting to the bottom of who somebody is will help them the most. So I think like we do with everything is we think through what is a specific thing for that person needs today in that treatment, what would help them the most. And then we do that. So whether that's physical or psychological or whatever it may be, that's how we approach it. And so then I think this podcast is a version of that. It's the way that we think about helping people. And we talk about it all the time. We just don't happen to do it on recording. So I don't know. I mean, I think we figured, well, let's just talk about it on air. Let's share our ideas and how we think about helping people move forward in a way that can help even more people, right? Because everything that we do right now is one-on-one for the most part. And so if we can share this on a broader scale with a larger audience, then maybe we can help more people.
Yeah, I would agree. I think definitely what I think we reiterate that message over and over again is we are in this to help people more than anything else. And that this is an offshoot of that for sure. I heard a thing recently on a podcast where there are physical therapists like you and I, for those who don't know us who are listening to this, we're both physical therapists, and the world that we work in is that, right? Physical therapy and health coaching and strength training and, kind of all things like health. But I heard something and he said, we don't sell visits, we sell outcomes.
Yeah.
And I thought that was an interesting way to look at it, is people don't come to us for visits. They're not, as much as they enjoy spending time with us, they're not looking for visits. They're looking for an outcome. They're looking for something to be different in their life, right? If they are in pain, they don't want pain anymore. That would be
that's what I'm saying.
Thing, right?
They're not coming for physical therapy.
Yeah.
They're coming because they think that physical therapy can help them with their problem, get an outcome that they would like.
Yeah.
And so then we just happen to be physical therapists that have a skill set that can help them with their problem. But like I said, that's why in reality, it's so much it's so personal and what skills and expertise do we have to help them with that thing,
right?
To get what they desire.
And I think we've learned along the way, at least I know I learned this a long time ago about being a physical therapist, that we have more skills and expertise than just the physical therapy, right? And that we have the added value or benefit of being able to spend a lot of time with our people, even outside of what we do here, even in our old model of care that we used to be part of. even then we spent more time with people than what a doctor normally gets to spend with, or other healthcare.
An hour or more every time you see somebody.
Yeah, we're lucky enough to be able to do that. So therefore we get to know all aspects of them as a person, not just their physical ailment. So just through conversation, right? Like just talking, you learn things that are going on in their life, maybe with their kids or maybe in their other relationships or financially or, whatever it is, you get to kind of be part of their life and oftentimes help them in ways that they didn't even know that you could help them.
Or that they needed.
Yep. And so that's like just a bonus perk of being a physical therapist. And in our particular situation where we work, we get to, really, really do that a lot. And in the end, we constantly are going back to the messaging to all the people who work here and to our clients. The goal is to help you. And that kind of leads into sort of this podcast. So, and why we named it what we named it, at least for now. But I think it's going to stay.
I think for sure. Yeah, I think it represents us well.
Yeah. So I'll let you do the reveal. I mean, you do own the company after all.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's right. So you're paying me to talk on this microphone right now. We talked about that the other day. You're like, Peter said,
how much is this episode cost?
Yeah. Peter said to me last time we were practicing recording, he says, can you believe they pay us to do this? And I was like, they? Can you believe, or you said, can you believe we're getting paid to do this? And I was like, yeah, like you're the one paying us.
You're the fucking one.
Yeah, you're the idiot that's paying us to do it.
How did this happen?
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for paying me to sit here and talk to you.
It's great.
Okay, so let's get into the name, and then we'll talk a little bit about like kind of what the format might look like, and what we plan on doing with this thing going forward.
So first of all, you're now the second person in my life that I do this with. You're the only person I have to pay to do this, but it tracks.
Yeah, Anjan, one of your really good friends.
I do this once a week for like 2 hours.
He has to exercise to do this.
That's true.
I don't have to exercise.
Oh, that's his payment.
It's his payment.
You require money.
Yeah.
He requires exercise.
Yeah, money and not exercise.
And I thought it was because he liked it.
Nope.
Shit.
No, Anjan's been playing you for a while.
Yeah.
Twice a week, you get to talk to somebody for real.
He's getting like free training.
Correct. So anyway, Anjan, if you're listening,
bastard.
Sorry.
Been manipulating me all these years.
Or you've been playing Peter.
So on our previous podcast, it was the Fat and Broke podcast, and it was designed around the idea of how do we help people and ourselves with our finances, our physical capacity, things like that, right?
Yep.
So look, Gary and I are still the same people, right? We're still going to be thinking and talking about a lot of the same things that drive us forward, helping other people in general. We had the idea that, our slogan was better every day.
Back in the day,
right?
Yeah, for the Fat and Broke podcast.
And so we
always ended with better every day.
And we still often say that a lot. And I think that that's a good mantra. I like the idea of it. The general sense is that you're moving forward. You're trying to improve whatever metric it is in your life that you're trying to improve, right? I think, so we serve a lot of people that fall into that camp. I think that better every day also can have for some people a negative connotation. Like, well, why do I have to be better? Aren't I good enough? So on and so forth. And
we hear that a lot.
Yeah, and so I
especially with you, like people get a little mad at you.
They get a little mad at me. Well, what do you need to, what are you working towards?
Why do I have to be better?
Yeah,
I don't want your life. That kind of stuff. So it can be a little rough, like a little harsh. Maybe that kind of
can
phrasing.
Be a little harsh to some people.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, well, what would be a better way to say that same thing, but maybe have it include more people that aren't just thinking about better, and so they may be thinking about different. So how can I be different than what I am today? How can I improve in whatever regard that is? And that's such a personal feeling response. It's so personal, it's so emotional, and it's never going to be the same for each person. And so we ended up, we ran through a bunch of different things. I think we landed with different life. I like those two words together, right? We have one life to live. Let's make it our best. And different is what I just talked about. It's personal to each person. And so we can all strive to be different in some regard. And my different is not the same as your different, and so on and so forth. So we can individualize it a little bit more than just saying better.
Right.
Is that reasonable?
I agree. It is reasonable. And I think it goes back to there's a thing that I heard. I don't know. I heard it for the first time maybe like, I don't know, a few months ago. And then I heard it again and I heard it again. Like all things that happen like that, I often feel like that's the universe speaking to me. Woo-woo. I know you don't like that as much as I do, but you believe it. I know you believe it.
Yeah.
And I kept hearing the phrase different is better than better. Right. And that kind of resonated with me. And then we applied it to our business. And I think it applies here. It's this idea of being different is a better way to say that than being better, right? That we can be different. We can be we don't have to necessarily strive for better, and better is very subjective, and we don't really know what that is and who defines that. But different is pretty clear, right? Like if you're different, a little bit different tomorrow than you were today, right? Then that is easily defined, I think. Right?
So
or you did something different today.
The
than
way
you
that
did
you
yesterday.
described it to me initially was as we describe our business to other people, we technically offer the service of physical therapy, but physical therapy is a very different meaning and a very personal meaning to every single person who has either experienced physical therapy or who has talked to somebody who has. And so then you really just have this snapshot, if you're not in the industry, of what physical therapy is and means. And so it's not to say that what we do is better, but because if I were to say that to you, well, what makes you better than this other thing that I think physical therapy is? It's more, how are we different than what standard physical therapy may be?
Right. So better is super subjective.
Correct.
Whereas different is not really. It's like
different. Here's the thing that we do
right.
that is different than the status quo. I think of different, honestly, as like, what is like the cultural status quo of a word or an idea?
Right.
And then what are the descriptives behind how are we or how is that different? Right. So I think that applies directly to what we want to try to do. Right. It is, what is your life and how would you like that life to be different? And then what are the philosophical and physical ways that we can think about creating that difference?
Right. Yeah, I think the other way I described it to you, and I'll clean it up a little bit, was we'll use pile of trash. When I described it to you, I said pile of something else.
Yeah. Oh, I say yes.
Right. But I said to you, I said, if I was going to offer you this pile of trash and you were like, no, thank you or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, what if I give you a better pile of trash? You'd probably still say, no, thank you. Like, I'm not really interested in a pile of trash. But if I say, well, what if I give you something different? You're like, yes, please give me something different than the pile of trash. And it's like the same idea, like better is super subjective. Like a pile of trash is a pile of trash, whether it's a better pile of trash or not. In my eyes, it might be, but you're still thinking it's a pile of trash. So anyway, it's the same concept, right? It's like different is better than better. And so let's strive for different rather than just better, right? And I think for most people, there's at least one part of their life, right, that they could want that to be different, right? So for you, Peter, put you on the spot. Look at that. He's making an uncomfortable smiling face from across the room. Well, what I like about this particular podcast too is there's video, so people will be able to see your uncomfortableness. If you had to point to one thing that you would like to be different right now, what would that be?
It's probably having better patience with my children when I'm trying to teach them something versus what comes naturally to me with my clients or the people that I see on a regular basis. The kids come with this, I have told them or I have worked with them on a thing 1,000 times, and then the thing still isn't the way that we've talked about it being done. And then so that inherently comes with a you should have known versus what we do with our clients is we tell them the thing, we meet them where they're at, and if they didn't get it, then we continue to work with them until they do get it. And for whatever reason, and I trust me, I'm very introspective on this, I've thought a lot about this, is I've been a dad for 16 years now, and I didn't have the same understanding about meeting people where they're at when I began to be a father. And then therefore I developed bad habits around working with my kids through problems that, we get into patterns of behavior. And so I for sure have less patience, and I have to catch myself all of the time going back to the meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
They are who they are today, and that's okay. And what is the strategy to help them move forward? So that's something personally that I'm working in my life on, is just like catching myself. And I think that I'm getting better at it, but I have to still catch it because the instinct is to not be that way. So that's a way that I'm trying to be different.
I actually find that that's funny because you are the one who gave me like probably one of the most valuable pieces of advice I ever got when it came to raising my children, especially during challenging years when they were like teenagers. And you said, you have to give them grace. Like you told me that. And now you struggle with the same thing. Like give them grace to be who they are. Like give them grace to like have their moments, like when they're like screaming at you, for whatever the reason, because for whatever is going on in their life in that moment, like they need that grace. And in your case, it had to do with a situation that was going on with your family at the time. And you were learning to give, I think it was one of your brothers, like a little bit of grace. But you then applied that directly to me and was like, I think you need to do the same. And so I would say to you, probably the same.
I couldn't effing agree more.
Yeah.
That is, and yes. And in fact, I was thinking about it today, and I have this intention that when I go home and then I'm gonna work with my son today on some of his schoolwork.
Mm.
That's the place that I need to embody. But I have to still like put myself in that headspace,
Mm.
or else it doesn't happen
Sure.
naturally,
Yeah,
right?
it's
So
hard.
I have to have intention around the person that I want to be with him.
Yeah.
So anyways, so
Yeah.
so that's something I'm working on. What about you?
I think you do something similar when you answer the phone for our business.
What do I do?
Like you say,
Oh, I said an intention.
you have like a little
Yeah,
mantra. You set an intention. Your mantra to remind yourself that even though you're running a business, you're not chasing dollars.
Mm-hmm.
The mantra is, how can I help this person?
Mhm.
And you say it to yourself right before you make the call or answer
Mhm.
the call. How can I help this person?
Yeah.
Because like that's ultimately what
That's
you want it to be.
The genuine
Right.
intention.
And the business happens when it happens, but like the goal is to help, right? And so how can I help them?
The business is profitable because you help somebody.
Yeah.
The end. So
Right.
if I can figure out the best possible way with that intention to help the person that I'm talking to, whether they're wanting to be a client or a current client, then the money problem answers itself
Yeah.
in the end. So if you can do right by people, then you have a business.
Right.
That's
But it
the way I've
starts by
always thought.
setting that intention, just like today when you go work with your son, by setting the intention, the outcome of that particular thing is more likely to happen. And when you do that over and over time, that's how you then the different becomes better, right? In a sense like that. You know what I mean? The different,
Mhm.
making that different
I want to be
approach.
different than I am today.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to set the intention. Here's what I'm going to do to move forward. Practice that intention.
Right.
And then you become better at whatever the personal task is to you that you would like to become better at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it would be, I guess the thing that I would like to be different is my general reluctance for things that are new. I kind of don't like new things.
I'm aware. Trust me.
Wait, did you just, I'm aware, babe?
When I
You can't do that. That's my line.
I have a process. When I introduce new things to you, I just accept that you're going to make fun of it and relentlessly berate me
That's a little extreme.
for
I think you should give me some grace.
No, I do. I leave you alone about it. But you have to have your own process that
Yeah.
brings you around to it. And that might take days, weeks, months, and in some cases, years. But
The best part about our relationship is that we're constantly manipulating each other. It's like, who's going to come out?
Yeah.
Who's going to go? And when we both realize it's happening, we're
Yeah.
like, fuck, God,
Son of a bitch, he did it to me again.
Got me again. God, now I want to do jujitsu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
believe it. Yeah.
You're highly resistant to new ideas. And you have a pattern in which you go through in order to become like not resistant to it.
So it's not so
It
much
takes
new
some time.
ideas as much as new things,
How would you define the difference?
like new activities or a change in my life patterns. I think I'm reluctant to those. Sometimes ideas, but not really. Like I really like information and I like to learn
You like
new
information,
things.
but you have worldviews though, and you have
Yeah.
patterns of
Correct.
behavior.
It can be hard to get past.
It's not
those, yeah.
information, it's patterns of behavior.
Yeah.
Patterns of behavior that other people do or introduce to you fall outside of what
Yes.
you do, you're resistant.
Yeah, I agree. So that's like, I think I start by making that different by just being more aware of when it's happening and then trying not to do the thing, which I have been actually doing that a little bit more lately. Yeah.
Not completely though, because it's really funny.
It's not completely. No, it's
Yeah.
a work in
No.
progress.
I'm saying like don't stray from that completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's value to it.
I
yeah.
appreciate I appreciate that part of you because I need you to not agree with me.
Yeah, part of it is like question it until you prove otherwise.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm okay to agree with it.
So I like that part of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
My instinct is to question most things.
That's just good.
Like I don't just take things on face value. However, I think it can go on for a little too long.
Correct.
And it also closes the door on like lots on things
Mhm.
that I should be more open to. Like even just in like personal life or whatever.
Mhm.
Things that may be like,
Takes
oh,
you longer to get around to
like someone's like, you want to go bowling? And I'm like, bowling is stupid.
yeah. And then that's just the way it is. Yeah. So
It's
that
just like-
takes away that moment.
Like, why do I want to roll that stupid ball and hit those stupid pins? That seems dumb. Like, why do I want to do that?
That's such a dumb
It
idea.
seems dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun. Okay, great. I'm glad you think that's fun, but I
Mhm.
feel
But I
stupid to
don't.
me. But like, I really don't have any reason why I should think that that's stupid.
So-
and I should probably just do it, and then I would like probably enjoy it.
What I was
Yeah.
going to say to you is I think
And I
Right.
actually kind of like bowling. I'm just using that. As
what if
anybody wants to invite me bowl, I say yes.
What if you did it this way? What if you notice the resistance that's always going to be there?
Yeah.
But then you just decide to do it anyways and like to do like your own experiment of one. Yeah. Is my instinct correct or not?
Yeah.
Give it a try. Because
So I just did this the other day.
Okay.
This is like a huge step for me.
What did you do?
And Jessica says to me, so there's some band, I forget what it is, who it is, somebody that Ashton really likes. And she knows that Ashton would really like to go to the concert. And there's like over like the summer sometime.
And you hate concerts.
I hate
Yeah.
just,
Trust
I
me.
don't want to talk about it.
I
You're
try.
ruining my moment.
Yeah.
But yes, I hate, like, the instinct is like, no, please no. Like, I don't need to listen to
It's
the
like
person next
shitty
to me.
weddings.
Yeah, like, I don't want to listen to you sing all of this person's songs. I don't like all those people. I generally just don't like concerts. So I'll just kind of put that as the premise. But I actually pulled a line from your book. And she goes, I think it'd be fun if we took Ashton he really would like to see them. He won't do it on his own. She's like, what if we all go? Like, that would be really fun. And I said, is that important to you?
That's a big one, right?
And she said, yes. And I said, I will be happy to go.
But inside,
and then I walked away. I didn't like,
you screaming
my
inside?
instinct was like, I'll be happy to go, but I'm going to hate every minute of it.
You wanted to say that.
But I won't, because I will enjoy it when I'm there spending time with Ashton, doing something that I know he enjoys, doing something that Jess wants to do, and doing something that I don't naturally enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I'll kind of be able to frame it as like, oh, look at me. I'm like doing something special. But I did it with no comments. I just said, is this important to you? She said, yes. I said, yes, I will go. And I believe she bought tickets for that.
So I think that's a great substitution for what your natural instincts.
Yeah. I learned that from you. You did it with Stacy when she was asking you about vacation days. Remember that?
Yes.
And we were sitting in there and she was like, I need you to take this Friday off. And you were like, why? And she's like, well, something. And you said, well, is that important to you? And she said, yes. You said, okay, I will take that day off because you hate taking days off from work. And so you just kept asking that question over and over again.
But I was doing it for somebody else, not me, which...
Yeah, you were to rework it so that you were doing it for her. Yeah. And then you were like, okay, I'll take the day off because you want me to. And then, of course, Stacy proceeded to work on that day. She forgot to take the day off, but you did it for her. It was just you and the kids.
I had a random day off.
A random day off with the kids, but that was fun, I'm sure. But that was funny. But anyway, there you go. So there's an example of it. That's a totally different approach to that scenario than I would have ever taken in the past.
I like it.
So
the podcast is Different Life, and then we're gonna have a subtext of a Whole Health Solutions podcast, right? Because we plan on creating other versions of this.
Yeah, we would love to hear from people who are listening to this. What else they'd be interested in? We thought there would be a fun one about like I actually think the one I mentioned earlier about Courtney doing one on pelvic floor would actually be really interesting. I think that's a niche. And I think there's an audience for that.
I think so too.
I think we could do, there's probably a ton of different sort of like niche down topics in like the health and wellness and physical therapy space that we could really do if we wanted to. And we're certainly going to do one on business coaching at some point because we've been doing this for a year and we feel like we're experts.
Of course.
So
like most things.
Yeah. Easy. So so a branded Whole Health Solutions podcast. And then we have a 10-word descriptor
that we just came up with today.
Yeah.
So we were thinking through a different life. What does that mean? What do we want to do as a podcast? What do we want to do as a company? And how do we make that meaningful and as concise as possible? And so the words we came up with is helping you build a healthier, capable, more meaningful life. And
I like that a lot.
I think all of those words matter. I think it's what we try to do every day in our practice. And I think it's what we're going to be doing on this podcast, just discussing between each other and guests on occasion how we can do exactly that. And so I'll say it one more time, helping you build a healthier, capable, more meaningful life. And I think that
Give us the whole thing. I want to hear the whole name with the subtitle and then the 10-word description.
The podcast that we are creating is Different Life, a Whole Health Solutions podcast. And we are helping you build a healthier, capable, more meaningful life.
Yeah. And hopefully not like stumbling over our words on the way to do it.
Correct.
Yeah, which we definitely will.
I gotta plug that in.
We definitely will. Yeah, we'll get better at that for sure as we go. Okay. And then I think from a format perspective, it's going to be a lot of like what you just heard. It's like just like, oftentimes the two of us having conversations about what we're thinking about that week, what's going on around here. Like not what's going on around here, meaning like things that you, the listener, will have no idea about because it's like an inside like story, so to speak, because that's lame. Unless you're a person that comes here, you won't know what we're talking about, but it'll be general, kind of the general thing, maybe things that we saw this week or thought about this week or talked about this week. And we'll have some more specific topics along the way, like health and wellness related, some of our expertise that we think people will find interesting. And we're going to have some of our other staff members on with us as co-hosts to add another voice and maybe some of their expertise in certain areas. We'll certainly have guests, maybe some of our own clients, maybe some other experts in certain fields that we find interesting. So, it's a lot of just trying to get as many different perspectives as we can and have some really good conversations about things that we think can really help people.
I think in the end, if you can genuinely be introspective, look inside and explore the areas in your life that you would like to be different, and then you can talk through it with somebody that you trust. You can problem solve. You can create actionable items with intention. Then, in my experience, that is the process of moving forward, changing what you would like to be different, and being better.
Yeah.
In the end. And that's what we'll do.
Agree. Just from a logistics perspective, this will be available on YouTube, and it will be available on all the podcast players. We'll include links to all that and below, and show notes, all the stuff that people say. And so that will all be available. And so hopefully people will follow along with us.
And this is our first iteration, and we have big plans for this. We're going to create a podcast studio. We're going to create really amazing soundproofing, amazing cameras.
Yeah.
This is our first iteration. It's going to grow with us, much like everything else. So I can't wait to take you guys along for the ride.
Perfect. Should we say different every day?
No. I don't think so.
Be different. How about be different?
Be different.
Be different.
Okay.
With that,
be different.
Be different.
All right. See ya.